Hey there, how you doing? So on this video cast, on this podcast, wherever you are, hi. And you're right here from recruitmentmarketinginternational.com. So just a quick one for you today, very, very quick one. It's really about change. So we are in the most transformative time ever in my lifetime, and probably yours. We are about to head into, many say, the fourth industrial revolution. And what happens at these times, history tells us, is a lot of people will become very rich. And why they become rich is because they adapt. So as part of this change, there will be a tiny percentage know where this model is going. But our job as business owners and entrepreneurs is to stay ahead of the curve as much as possible, and to adapt as quickly as possible. So this isn't by coincidence. In the back, you'll see a tire down there. So at my age, you've got to work harder to keep your body in shape. And you know, we're told to do sit-ups and all these sort of things for your abs. When I started doing Muay Thai, flipping a tire gave me the best abs ever in my life. But if you go to any gym, anywhere in the Western world, 99% of the time they're going to say, do crunches, do this. That tire flipping gave me a core I've never experienced since. And you can see it's not been used today because of the snow. So I'm saying this because often we don't know what we don't know. So right now, the first thing we need to all do as entrepreneurs is recognize the world is changing. So if you're holding on grimly, expecting things to come back to how they were, I believe that's not going to happen. I believe there will be a lot of people in recruitment search made very, very rich in this next set of years. And for that to happen, it means really staying ahead of the curve, which is, for my members, my job, and then creating the relevant strategy or identifying the niche, etc., and then strategies for that niche. But then secondly, actually implementing and changing. And then finally, it's taking feedback from that change. So there's number one, there's three things we need to do as entrepreneurs here. Number one, we need to know that recruitment search is changing. The world is changing. Business is changing. If business is changing, there's a change in structure in terms of hiring and requirements. So there'll be a lot of new niches coming out, a lot of sub-technologies. I won't go through a list of niches now. You can jump on a call and go through that. But there's a whole set of niches, which will be taken off. In existing niches, there'll be new technologies and new processes and new skills in existing niches. Take retail, for example, and the change into e-commerce and logistics, into drones. Take smart cities, smart houses. It's still construction. Could you fit under that umbrella? But the first thing is accepting that the world has changed. If we don't accept anything, if we don't accept that all these donuts are putting a belly on, we're not going to change it. The first thing you need to accept is going to change. I believe we will never go back to, quote, how it was, either whether that's by man-made creation, it's part of something else, or whether it's just the way things evolved. I believe the outcome, and you always start with the outcome and then reverse engineer the steps, the outcome will be we will not revert back to what we had 18 months ago. So accept we're in a world of change. Secondly, accepting we're in a world of change, we need then to follow by making a change. So in your recruitment search business, what's the change that needs to happen? So I did a video briefly on niche, maybe it's changing niche. But more importantly than that, the outcome is you get paid. So if you get paid 500K, that means your business needs to bring in, say, 800K, 300K on taxes and expenses, but 500K dividend, etc. to you. So we need to bring in that 800K. So to do that, we need to get 40 placements for 20K, or whatever your number is, okay? That means then we need to do 4 placements per month, take out January and February. That means we need to do, got 3-to-1 conversion, we need 12 appointments per month, etc. So to attain those appointments, or to get the top 5% of candidates, what's changed now? Given there are probably more candidates on the marketplace, if not now, there will be. And given there'll be a reskilling going on, if we need to change, and what do we need to actually change? So there's only two parts to your business. There's only two parts to your business. You might say, Andy, bugger off. But there is. Whether you're research, staffing, or recruitment. One, you need the role. Two, you need the candidate. That's it. Put away all the complexity and all the overwhelm and all the everything. That's it. We need a role and a matching candidate. That's it. So to attain that role and attain that matching candidate, what is changing right now that we're just pushing away, we're not accepting? So we've been doing, or I've been doing, remote recruitment coaching now. So showing recruitment search businesses how to grow a team, how to grow a business, how to break 7 figures for the first time from their laptop, working at home for a decade now. For a decade. I've been teaching how to use webinars to bring clients in for a decade now. Now, these things should be becoming more the norm. So already, me and my members and we're testing new strategies. We're eons ahead again. But if you've not even adapted to what, for me, is the norm as a one-to-many strategy, if you've not adapted to remote, you're going to get left behind. And you've got to take accountability and say, that's on you. That's on you. So we need to accept we've got to change, then we need to change. So if you just take a pen and paper now, maybe you've changed, you've got an iPad and an Apple Pen. But if you take a pen and paper now, what are 5 things that have changed in the last 18 months in terms of bringing on clients, bringing on the role? What are 5 things that have changed in terms of bringing on candidates? Of those 5 things, how would you rank your change in 0 to 10? Well, this is what's changed. How much have you adapted to it, 0 to 10? You're going to get a score. Now, even worse, you might have cognitive dissonance over this. You may say, things haven't changed. That's on you. I don't want to argue about that. It's your business. You take responsibility for that, not me. And you can do that all you want. So if you think things haven't changed, or even worse, you don't know what's changed, you're not attuned to the market. And that means you need to speak to your clients, prospective clients, speak to your candidates, find out what has changed. We're finding we've got a strategy right now with candidates. One of my members actually takes credit for taking a tier 1 candidate and then marketing them to a tier 2 client, brings in a whole stack of roles. Why would a candidate do that? Because now the career progression for that candidate has changed from pre-lockdown. So there's a different set of principles. It might have been before, get me to partner, but now there's a career ladder. It's a different salary ladder. So what's changed in your market? If you don't know, that's on you. So we need to identify what's changed, number 2, and make that change. Then number 3, we need to take feedback. So if we think what we're doing here, we accept we got change, we make the change, then we get feedback. So that means you're doing something new. You're riding a bike for the first time. You're going to fall off and get grazes. But that feedback is the most beautiful thing ever. If you run a campaign and you get a number. So I've got a member, Michael, who works in gaming. Went into recruitment for the first time last year. Been in that niche for 20 years. Well, IT consultant side for 20 years. He's amazed that his campaign. So he sent out a campaign of 400 candidates. 90% of them. That's all the candidates in his niche, by the way. He's now got them in his ecosystem. 90% of them saw the job. The 360 saw the job. That for him blows him away. He's like, I can't believe 90% of all the candidates in this niche, which I want, so I've already created what I consider to be the top 40%, they've all seen our job. That blows him away. Now, again, to me, this is stuff that we were doing 10 years ago. So Michael's doing things which is fab, but he start adding on new bits now. So we need to take this feedback, and in Michael's case, he's got 90%, it's great. But what if he ran that and it came back as 10% saw it? That's not great. So he takes up that 10%, and he's going to say, well, that should have performed better. So what does he do? He checks he's got the right candidates. Are they the right 400? He changes the campaign, the automated campaign. We change a few words in it. We change the drivers inside the campaign, as in the text, and we send it again on a different set of data. We test it again. So bit by bit, that 10% becomes 30%, 50%, to 90% opening. Then we want to get next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% replying to it. So when we send across 6 candidates, we're sending 6 candidates from 300 replies from the top 400. But then Michael's challenge will be, Andy, I've got too many candidates. We need a filter in place. We need a filter. So only speak to the top 6. So bit by bit, we take this feedback and create this system. So when we look at your business and what's going on with the world, that feedback is going to be the most important thing that you get. So right now we're working from home and you may or may not be in a strong place mentally. My heart goes out to you if you're not. Hanging in there, it will change. It fucking will change. But that feedback we get when we start something is the most glorious thing ever. And it's a case of, right, got this feedback, and you just be thick-skinned, right, it didn't work, tweak it, send it again, tweak it, send it again. Could be a webinar, could be a podcast. But after 3, 4, 5 cycles of that, so 3, 4, 5 weeks, you've got something you can probably copy and paste, change a few variables inside it, and run evergreen for the next 6, 7, 8, maybe 12 months. So we're in a world of change now. And as recruitment entrepreneurs, we are built in a way which I can't even begin to explain to somebody who's not an entrepreneur. We are so bloody minded. We are so stubborn. We are difficult to coach. And over the years, I'd rather have someone come to me who's been in recruitment 20 years and lost it all than someone's been in recruitment 20 years and they're doing very, very well, because they're more difficult to apply a new strategy. So we got to, number one, identify who we are. We're entrepreneurs, and we are fucking epic because we are made of fucking stone. We are epic. We are such a breed. It's incredible. There's something inside of us which I hope to God my kids have. They have an abundance, but some steeliness that we keep getting up and we keep fighting. So recognize you don't want to change. You don't want to adapt because you're an entrepreneur. That's normal. So number one, we need to accept the world is changing. Number two, we need to make that change based on empirical evidence. And number three, we get feedback from that change, whether it be a candidate process or a client process, or it could be an accounting process. We're changing the way that we're running our business. Nowadays you may be looking at, in fact, I'll keep that for another day. I'm going to go into different countries. But we got these 3 steps. And I really think now we are running out of time if you haven't made that change. We really are running out of time. And it's not to scare you. I don't know you. I'm sure I know some of you, but it's not to scare you. It's done with love. So I've fought uphill for 10 years, pushing remote, working from a laptop, working from home, recruitment search. I fought uphill, but I've never changed for my outcome. And now suddenly the whole world's having to do it. I've been doing it a decade. So I get this stubbornness that we've got. But if you don't see that the world is changing, I don't believe it's going to come back. So with love and with positive intent, just look around you for evidence that things will not go back to how they were, which means there's an opportunity. So with that said, lots of love, power on. If you want to speak to me, speak to my team, jump on a call. If you go to recruitmentmarketinginternational.com, recruitmentmarketinginternational.com/meet, MEET. recruitmentmarketinginternational.com/meet. Also connect with me on LinkedIn. Let's hook up. Speak soon. Take care.